Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Clutch Crypto with your co-host B. Wellington. We're the Trading Bros. It's Monday morning, 9:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're here to look at the markets today. Looks like we did open with a nice pump this morning, at least in the pre-market anyway. We got another 10 minutes for New York Stock Exchange open, so let's slide over to the charts and see what we can find out.
We are the ETH USDT chart here, and looking at it, you can see we took a dive. We talked about this last night on Keaton's Corner. We've got this low that was made here, and so we've had this pump. Now, we called this pump last night. I don't want to get into immediately. We called it, but we knew from this downside that they would have to clear a lot of the shorts that came on board. And so to me, what this move represents is a clearing of the shorts. Of course, this is on the 5-minute chart. This line here was the last penetrating line that we had. So we're getting back up to this trend line here. We go on the hourly. This is the trend line that we were looking at, which is a trend line from the upwards pattern that we had. I know I got a lot of lines here, but every single one of them are necessary. And so getting back up to the 50 EMA on the 1 hour, which is predictable, right? It's mean reversion, getting back up to that status. And so back up to the daily open, we see all that as being, part of the actual cycle itself. What I would anticipate is that even if we came up to this 200 on the 1 hour, possibly getting up to this 800, it'd be another pump similar to the pump that we had last week that trapped a bunch of longs up here and then took them back out. So in reality, if I'm looking at this, I've got these zones marked out here, but really what I'm looking at is the 200, the 800, and then if we decide to go through these peaks, that's a whole nother story that changes up the game plan. But for right now, I think it's pretty consistent with what Ethereum or the crypto market's been doing, which is basically chopping the market. And in this instance, we're chopping the market. Now, what's interesting here, and what I think we'll find, is that this trend line that comes across, this yellow line here, we bounced off of it coming up. We've come back down, right? A lot of technical traders are going to look at this as a second bounce here. So if this comes down, you're going to trap a lot of shorts. And I'm talking a lot of shorts that are playing this pattern here. And then I think what that'll do is that'll bring price back up in this particular area. So I think we move down, we come back up, depending on the engagement here. But what I believe is that we'll get a lot of shorts. We'll get another move up. And this could be weeks, right? This could be the end of the week. But I think we'll see ourselves in this range by the end of the week. I don't think we're really going to go anywhere unless we have some huge news that comes out on BTC. We've got similar, even though we just had this cross, we've got a similar almost. The pattern's almost identical. And again, we've got this downside. We've got this push up to move some of the longs, to engage some of the longs, depending on how far this gets up. I think we'll then get a pullback. Looking at BTC, I think there's more of a reason to get back up into this area, just because of the low volume nodes that are here. But again, critical area for me to say, okay, we're moving up is going to be the 45,379, somewhere in that area. But I think we're both in agreement that this pump's probably going to last throughout the day to a certain extent. I just think it's going to be very choppy, trying to take out longs, engage shorts, and then move up to the upside in order to take out those shorts, and then ultimately move to the downside. So just a bunch of choppiness is what's to be expected. So for that, we can move on to Coin Analyze. So we have Coin Analyze here. We can look at open interest. Of course, open interest is up because price is up naturally. If we go to funding rate, we've got a mixed bag on the funding rate side. So FTX is negative. Again, I always look at FTX because they seem to hedge spot here, and that is always an indicator for me just to pay attention to. Nothing that's final, but definitely take a look at. And so, looking at the coin margin side again, it's a mixed bag across the board. You've got Binance,
What do they call the Bybit traders?
apes.
The apes, right?
Yeah, so we're a mixed bag here as well. So, but we're primarily looking to short. And so Bybit, the apes, we're, and I say we because we started off on Bybit as apes. We aped in, but looking at it, call it more retail. Retail traders have been long. With Bybit, they switch positions so often, right? That's a characteristics of this particular market. So it's not surprising to see us going long, but seeing that on a longer time frame, there might be some shorts that are still uh, actively getting into this to this position. So we'll see. We'll see. ETH is going to be same, even though we've had some future declines. I did pull this up early. I'll just refresh it. 6 billion. I mean, 6 billion is where we've been at OI wise. You want to take a look at spot?
Yeah, sure. Let's check it out.
So we're pretty much in line. So we've got spot that's driving price, of course, that's taking out a lot of these shorts here, taking a lot of the shorts. So all this is, pretty in line with what we think or what we thought moving forward. This move was a clear out shorts, and that's exactly what it's doing. I did pull up. I won't mess with this too much, but we've got EXO charts here. This is a TPO chart. We've got POC at 2614. We're bouncing around this POC, so I'd anticipate that we bounce in this area. If we move up, what I like to see is a move up through this particular area. I'm not sure it'll get up this far. This is also on the hourly 90 ticks combined. There's probably about 12 hours in this. So hanging around this POC is good. Being above the POC, we may see some movement to the upside into this particular area. But if we get into this area, I think we'll get down to this POC and start moving back down again. We look at the actual market itself. Looking at the market itself, just on Market Insider here, markets have been flat. Earlier, we were way down, like 260 points. So this move up is consistent with the move up that we're seeing in ETH and in Bitcoin. But you see, we got spikes in gold, oil. We got spikes in oil, right? We got spiking gold, and market's flat. So none of this actually makes sense, right? Some of these, what's that game? Some of these aren't real. Gold is real, oil is real. This pump here, as money's coming back into these equities, money's coming back into BTC. Don't know if that's real, but definitely these commodity prices, even things like wheat, things of that nature, are off of the charts relative to the market, the market sentiment overall. I mean, the war is really having an impact overall on economy-wise. So that's next week. If we look at this week, Monday, consumer credit that comes out, not that big of a deal. Foreign trade deficit is a big deal. This is kind of what we're dealing with. This is going to grow, continue to grow as this conflict continues to go. Continue job openings, that's going to be a big deal. So again, Wednesday, Thursday. So if we got this pump this week, foreign trade deficits, it's going to be something that could cause some negative sentiment. Job openings, I think is going to be positive because we've seen that jobs have been a lot. Quits, I'm very interested in. We've seen reports that folks don't want to go back to work. They're quitting their jobs. But Thursday is going to be a big day. And then we also have a surprise Fed meeting, I believe, coming up. I haven't been able to confirm that, but I believe that it's out there. I've heard that on
the surprise Fed meeting.
There's a surprise Fed meeting.
You think it's going to be about the interest rates?
Well, with all the things that are going on, everybody's saying that they're not going to be able to raise rates. So in March, like they're predicting to do so because of everything that's happened, inflation and with the war. But, so maybe that's coming out to quelch.
Getting over to the E chart on High Block Capital, you can see here that we did get a good nice reversal down here right in this low 2500 range. That happened, I believe, last night, right around the new market open for the Sydney market. This was a pre-dump that happened. Market open here. We're having a nice pump out of here. Are we on a reversal trend on the upside for the next couple of days? I do believe so, but this was a pretty quick move, so I wouldn't be surprised if we come back and maybe get a few of these items down here that would bring you down into the mid 2500s. So just keep a real close eye on that, and then keep a close eye on, especially when you get around the 2500 mark. Make sure we don't break below that 2485, because if we do break below that and we do have a lower low, expect us to go to the downside, but we're not anticipating us getting down that low till probably a little bit later in the week. We do have a lot of liquidity up here that we need to go grab. These are all liquidations, short liquidations. As you can see, we have a lot of stuff up, in the high 2700s, mid 28s. I don't think they'll leave that on the table. They'll definitely come up there and grab that. The stuff in the 3000 range, though, that's going to be, about close to that peak that, B. Wellington was talking about earlier on TradingView. So we'll just need to, pay real close attention once we get into that area, if we get that high, and then we'll see. We'll be able to give you some more updates later in the week. So this is the Bitcoin chart. As you can see, we're seeing a lot of the same things. We're currently around the 38, almost 39,000 range. I will expect we'll probably break into that 40,000 range again. That's, Bitcoin breaking 40,000. That's psychologically, that's like a something big for people. Oh, Bitcoin's above 40,000 again. So once they get that above that point, I do think we'll start seeing some more longs get on board, and us really start driving some price up again. Probably all the way into the mid 40,000 range, maybe 46, 47,000. I don't think I see us doing anything more than that. That also gets us back up into that area that we were in last week. So if we break that peak, we will more than likely continue to the upside. Are we ready for that yet? We're not sure. We'll have to keep a close eye on the charts this week to kind of see how things play out. Slide over here to Bookmap. Take a look at this. Bookmap is currently on the E chart. As you can see, we're right here at 2640. We are heavily weighted to the upside right now, but we are kind of fighting. We had a bunch of orders that we just took in right here at this range that we're at. As you can see, we got up to this range, we consolidated. So now it's kind of a waiting game. CBD is way up. It's in the 21,000 range, which that's very typical when we're moving to the upside, and we do still have our order deficit down here below. So I mean, this is all, especially with these orders weighted up here, that's all a really good indicator that we are headed to the upside. But with this sharp move that we had, I'm not going to be surprised if New York has a little bit of a pullback just to kind of come back down and get some more, fill some more orders and continue onward. You do have some heavy support areas down at 24,000, 2350. So, be careful, be cautious, pay attention to those. As far as the other big orders and order locations, 2700 is going to be a nice area of resistance that we need to break through. So pay attention when we get into that area. And then for the downside, the next closest thing that we have that I feel like will be a real test for us. Sorry, I'm trying to get this to load. I mean, you have 25,000. We didn't break below it last night. As you can see, we came down here. They had a big rejection. We bounced off of that. So I'm not really anticipating us getting back down the 2,500 range either. So I would just continue to say that we're slowly going to kind of just fill in the range. A lot of range in today. I believe the fast move, the big move happened this morning right before the open. So you have 2,700, 2,750. And as you can see, we have all these areas in here that we got to kind of work our way through. So let's look over at the Bitcoin chart real quick. Take a look at that. 36,000 has quite a nice order wall. 37,000 has another order wall there. And then sliding up here, I expect to probably see some stuff in the mid 40,000 range just as heavy order areas go. 43,500, 44,000, and then up here at 45,000, you can see we have some nice stack orders there. So I think once we break through this 39,500 range, we're gonna slide into 40,000 pretty quick. And then from there, we'll see how far into the 40,000 area we go. And I think the faster the move happens, the quicker the OI is going to go up and the faster people are going to get on board with this. So that's going to wrap it up for us today, guys. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow. And we'll see you then. Until then, AMF.